What's up, everybody in 511 land? Good morning, and how you doing? Glad to be here. Welcome to the Mike and Tom show. I'm here as usual with Tom Touchstone. Tom, awesome to have you back in the studio, or in the flesh at least.
through the wonders of communication. There again, Mike. I hope people saw the show yesterday. You guys did, on the assassination attempt of President, or I hate to call him ex-president because I think he's going to be the new president, Donald Trump. But Mike, you guys did a great job. If you guys haven't seen that show, go out and check it out because they did a live show yesterday with a lot of our extended 511 family. So that's just kind of a plug.
We had a really good time. We had a ton of just world class guests in there, and they did a great job. I felt like it was one of our best shows.
It was the best.
And,
it was the best, Mike.
We had a great time, but we got some stuff we want to cover today. We have some a special guest potentially coming in, and don't bring him in yet, Layla. And we have a lot of things that we're covering. There's a lot been going on, and I think if you're paying attention, if you know what's going on, I mean, if you got half a brain, which is more than our current president has, you'll be aware that that even though an attempt was made on our next president's life, I'm going to say that in Jesus' name, the powers that be are, it's interesting. If you hear a lot of the things that are being talked, there's this kind of overt conversation going on about, this should never happen. We feel bad, blah, 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 all this garbage. Obama came out and, with the tweet, Biden came out and he had a semi-coherent press conference, talking about this stuff supposedly, and I kind of if it comes out of Biden's mouth, I kind of tend to think it's a lie anyway. But he says that he talked to Trump. I don't know if that's actually true. I kind of doubt that it actually happened ever. But frankly, the two men hate each other, literally hate each other. But he says that he's reached out. But we'll cover some remnants of that because I think it is important today. But we have some other stories coming up, and I think this nation is just in a very weird place. We're in a very chaotic place, but we got to remember at the end of the day who sits on the throne, and that's our King Jesus, right? I woke up yesterday, and I'm gonna continue to say this, but I woke up yesterday, and my wife said, Ludavia, my beautiful bride, Ludavia, said, remember when you go on the air today that we are Christians first. We're a Christian company, and I think all of our guests embodied that. But at the same time, and I'm gonna say this because I think it's appropriate to say, and Tom, you can correct me if you disagree with it, but I am angry. And the Bible says there's a time for righteous indignation, and I think that time is now. I think that God has supernaturally given us a platform and a voice, and he's part of our mission, part of our calling is to push forward other people's voices at the same time. And I think we did in my opinion, a phenomenal job with that yesterday, and we're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to do things like that because I think it's important to have many Christian voices out, many and I think part of that is overtaking at least a certain percentage of the territory the enemy took back by taking over the airwaves and making media have a voice for God again.
Mike, I agree with everything you said, everything. And I do believe it's something true, but I do believe people, by their actions, will show that they can let you down because they're past. I go back to what John the Baptist told some of the religious leaders of the day. Everybody was coming out to be baptized by John the Baptist. And he saw a group of people in line getting ready to be baptized because I think they wanted to be part of the club. And he looked at him and says, you know what, you brood of vipers, what are you even doing here? Now, that conversation didn't just begin there. You know, I don't know if it was a show of public, like, hey, we're going to get in the end thing to do, which is getting baptized by John the Baptist. And he just told him, he goes, what I want you to do is get out of line. I want you to go back. When you come back here, I want you to bring back fruit of your repentance. And I'm not sure, Mike, there's been any fruit of repentance on the other side. That'd be my opinion about it. And I think we should keep an open mind, because I do believe Christ came for the salvation of everyone. I believe that. I had that conversation yesterday. And I believe that he's there, but he wants to change people. So people have to show that they've changed. And I agree with you, Mike, because we've all seen the memes. We've all seen the things out there. This, I wish that there would be able, it doesn't give me any, I'll say this, Mike, it doesn't give me any comfort that the organizations that we have in power right now are doing the investigation on this. That gives me zero confidence in getting the truth, because I think we've already seen what's coming out of some of those organizations. We've heard that another law enforcement person came across this individual. Well, he was carrying a 10-foot ladder and straddled it across two buildings, went across it and laid down. And it wasn't like it was, one of those 2-mile things. It was 150 feet. Like,
right. Well, yards, 150 yards.
So what I'd like to say, Mike, and correct me if I'm wrong, I would like to see a little bit of fruit with this repentance. Some action. Yeah. Right now, everybody's calling for the climate to cool down. Like, we were the rhetoric of the climate. It's like, okay, we've all been pushing each other, right? And I think that's something that's been comfortable and uncomfortable, especially our journey here with what we're doing. But I would like to see some fruit with repentance. The fruit means basically show something that's grown from your actions that will show that you really want to. Don't just take down your ads the day after it happened or a day after the attempt was failed. And we all know that young man wasn't the end all for this whole thing. I mean, it's like, it goes back to that movie. Did you ever see the movie, the JFK thing from the Oliver Stone? Was it Oliver Stone? No, I think it was Oliver Stone.
No, I never saw it.
Well, there's a lot of memes going around about it, because they were all government officials talking about the absurdity of what happened to be the thing that really happened. And we all know that, there's so many stories and backstories. But Mike, I thought you guys did a great job covering it from a Christian's perspective, keeping yourselves in line. So if you guys are out there, we are tempting you to go back out and do a rewatch on the show that Mike hosted yesterday with a lot of extended 511 media family.
And if you're on Instagram, it'll be link in the bio. You'll be able to go watch that. It's on all the audio platforms. We already pushed it out. We'll be pushing out some more content around that the rest of this week. We have a bunch of clips that I think are going to be good for you all to see. But the thing is, we're in a crazy world, right? So remember, God is on the throne at the end of the day. So I also want to say, if you're out there watching, if you're watching this live or if you're watching this later, we are a live show. So we do take comments. We interact with all your guys' comments. We interact with all your guys' emails. So if you want to reach out to us via email, you can do that as well. Or reach out. You can DM 511 on Instagram or Facebook, and we'll be looking at those in the future. So,
want to do our sponsor, Covenant Coffee?
I do. So,
I gave you a hint because I don't have a Covenant Coffee.
Right. Y'all see me drinking the coffee every day.
Yes.
It's kind of their slogan or their motto. But Covenant Coffee, covenantcoffee.org online. Layla, you can drop that in the comments for everybody if they want to get the covenantcoffee.org. If you're outside of Bakersfield, they do ship nationwide. You can get bags, you can get pods, K-cups. If you're in Bakersfield, California, they have a place right across the street at Mohawk in California. They have a place over on North Chester. But the wonderful thing about Covenant Coffee is they support the emancipated foster youth. with jobs, with skills. They teach them how to work retail. They teach them how to roast beans and many other things. Because Randy Martin, who will be back in our studio in the next week or two, he had a heart and a mission for these kids, because he started with Covenant Ministries, and Covenant Ministries works with foster youth and houses a lot of foster youth. And we've had him in our studio. If you guys get a chance, go back and check out that episode with Randy Martin. But his heart is very much in line with these kids. So anyway, get a chance, go check out covenantcoffee.org. It's in the comments on Facebook and YouTube. If you're on Instagram, covenantcoffee.org. We'll be dropping that later for you guys. But yeah. So with that said about the youth and everything, we got something special coming up for you guys. And that is with Dr. Jonathan Rizzo tonight. And can we bring in Dr. Jonathan Rizzo? And I'm going to bring up slide number 1 here, if we can show that. He's doing a special.
What's up, Johnny?
What's up, my brother?
There you go. Look at that. What up? What up? What up? How you guys doing?
Good, Johnny.
Good.
Good morning. Man, I like doing this in the morning. I'm used to doing it in the evening.
Well, you're doing it in the evening and morning today, so
Yeah.
you want to tell everybody watching and everybody who's watching now live, if you're watching now live, drop a comment, let us know. If you're watching this later, let us know that too. But Johnny, go ahead and share with everyone what we're doing tonight.
So, I've been inspired quite a while, the last few years, about working more with parents. And what I've done in the last 2 years, I've really just began working in the homes, because I've seen, in order to get real, true behavioral change with the kid, whatever it is, ADHD, autism, depression, you have to work with the parent, and you have to change some of the structures in the home. And so what I've decided to do is, I've seen, since I've been doing it in the home, I've seen the progress. Man, I've seen kids who have severe ADHD, improve their attention, which is extremely hard. Like, that's an attention processing. So what I've wanted to do now is pass on some of that information to parents for free. So
that's a good word. That's a great word, Johnny.
Yeah. So every other week, me and other people who are doing the work, not people who study it. Well, we've studied it too. So even tonight, I have a board certified behavioral analyst who's going to be on the show, who's going to be going over the information and discussing more, starting off the discussion for us with me. And I'm a licensed educational psychologist. So people who've work in the field, because we grinding out there. She's in the school and in the homes. I'm in both too. And other people who are in the field grinding it out are going to have the discussions and the different lessons that we're going to provide that have worked, that we have seen worked, but also are what we call empirically based. And that's a fancy schmancy word for saying it's been shown to work a ton of times before. So not only am I seeing it done in the homes now, and then in the schools, I'm hearing the progress, I'm seeing the progress, but also it's been shown to work with poor kids, with rich kids, with brown kids, with white kids, with African Americans, everyone. So this is what I want to pass on to everyone now. So the things that we're going to cover are simple stuff. You know what I've realized, Tom? Check this out. Behavior can be broken down into a science, almost like math. If you do this, this will happen. I mean that. Let's take it for the negative, okay? Because I'm gonna have to flip it, right? I'm gonna have to reverse it, teach the skills. If my kid cries, which is really hard to do, or tantrums, man, and I give in to them, you know what the math equation for that is? The next time they want something, they're going to tantrum again, because they've proven it's worked, right? So how do we change our kids' behavior from them communicating, saying, when I want something, From them tantruming, yelling, screaming to saying, hey, mom, dad, requesting it verbally, right? And then if parents say no, accepting that. So teaching those skills, which is so hard. It's hard for moms, it's hard for dads. It's hard for moms because the thing is mom's role is to be a nurturer, right? Their role is to be kinder, more loving. So it's really hard to balance that out. So what we have to do is teach them information like, what are the triggers of behavior, right? What are the things that we can do that make the behavior worse? What are the things that we can do that make the behavior better? What are the things that we can do to reduce our kid from, because the thing, we're dealing with some really hard stuff. We deal with kids like who headbang really hard because they're not getting what they want. And because they're nonverbal and they're delayed. So, these skills that we're teaching work with those kids. So imagine how much more they'll work with kids who are have typical behaviors. So that's what we're going to cover is tonight, the introduction of what behavior is and what are the good treatments we can do. But also we're going to cover a specific treatment called applied behavior analysis today. And what that is that's been shown to use very much scientific-based treatment, which means we're very intentional about what we do. We keep track of the data. We set specific goals. We keep track of the data. And we work with the kids daily or weekly and parent until we see progress or not. So this is some of the things that we'll be working on right now. And so that's what we're going to be teaching is the science and the behavior, all that. And because that's what we call applied behavior analysis. But we're going to cover that. But more so, that's going to be the minority we're going to talk about. The majority we're talking about is more so what behavior is, how to treat it, and how to work with parents, how we can teach parents to have these skills in their own homes.
Yeah, that's awesome, Johnny. So you guys, if you want to catch that, that'll be live tonight on the platforms you're watching this on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and also we're gonna keep the recordings for our subscribers. And I've been talking about this for a while, but if you want to subscribe to some of the things that 511 Media is doing, you can do that over on our website. But we're going to keep these recordings available to you guys. Class is completely free of charge. All you got to do is sign up, and we'll make sure you get access to that behind our portal. And you guys go check it out tonight. Thanks, guys. So yeah, thanks, Johnny, for being here, man. Is there anything else you want to add before you bounce? Or Tom, do you have any questions for Johnny?
No, but Mike, this is something I'm learning because my son-in-law, Danny, who we're expecting any day now to have my daughter Tessa will have our first grandchild. Danny told me something he read, and Johnny, I think your parenting goes before the children are born too. Yeah. Because he told me, check it out. He goes, Tom, there's a simple technique that men need to know about, that when your child is born, especially if it's a girl, that if you hold the baby and make skin to skin contact, that the man will produce more estrogen. Now, as a man, we don't want to produce more estrogen unless we realize there's a purpose for it, because men can tune out things. And sometimes a baby will cry because they have no other communication methods. Well, mothers will wake up in the middle of the night and you can't even hear a word. It's like a dog whistle. You get every dog in the neighborhood with a dog whistle, but you can't hear it. But a mom will get up. I remember my wife get up. She goes, someone's crying. I go, I don't hear it. Well, if you have more estrogen in your system, you're more alert to those cries. You're more sensitive to the needs of a girl child, because your body knows that you need to pay more attention as a man to what it is. Now, I can apply that biblically to a lot of stuff. I mean, the Bible says it's better to be a hearer, be a doer of the word instead of just a hearer of the word. So you need to hear it, then you need to respond to it. So I thought that was very interesting. And my son-in-law, he's very studious. And as he was looking these things up to read, he just threw that by me. I was like, holy smokes. God planted something else in our body and our ability just to change our hormone balance to that. And I know men don't, especially if you're a macho guy, you don't want more estrogen in your system. But if it focuses you on the right things, I think that's a great biblical principle for any time in our life. But being expecting
precisely though. I did that too. So when my daughter was born, the moment she came out, I had my shirt off. And but it was a different reason though. If you look at nature, a lot of the times the first contact is the best contact, is skin to skin or whatever it is. So for nature, for bonding's sake, I did that. I didn't know it would add estrogen because I got caught up in that. But a lot of what we're going to talk about, Tom, is going to be this unconventional stuff that people really don't hear about, but it works. It works. And if you do it in a specific way and you get advice from people and work with others, my Lord, you can really not only heal your kid's behavior, but also heal the relationship that you have with them. And that's what you ultimately want, is a good relationship with your kid. So that's all I got to say. Appreciate you guys. Hey, tune in. I promise you will enjoy.
Yeah. So again, that's tonight at 5:30. We're going to be live. We're gonna share some stuff that hopefully will help you guys out on parenting. I know Johnny and I have had many conversations about some stuff around parenting and this and that. And I don't think you guys are going to want to miss it. So go check it out. It's going to be, again, live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and wherever we stream. And then it'll be available to our subscribers for free as well. So thank you guys. Johnny, thanks for being here. Go enjoy your family. Love you, bro. Talk to you soon.
I like that, Mike, that we're able to bring informational insight through the 511 talent and the shows that we're bringing out to the people that are even just listening to us this morning. You may come on for one reason, but you may get enlightened by another. So keep those ears opened.
Well, and for those of you watching, there's a lot of prayer that goes behind these shows as well. I know we talk a lot of politics, but we talk life stuff as well. But there's a lot of prayer that goes into this because we want to keep you guys aware of what's going on. I was talking to a friend of mine just the other day, Tom, and he was telling me that, actually I've shared your show with all of my family and my friends at work and everything else, and he said that your show is one of the first places I go for information. So, it's interesting to me because we've been doing content for about 5 years now. And when we started, we were terrible, and now we're a little bit better, but, and we're constantly striving to improve, but having that focus on you guys and what you guys want to hear, again, is so important to us over here at 511 Media. Keep us in the loop on what you guys want to hear, what you guys want to talk about. So you can drop some comments, you can email us, you can DM us on all the social platforms. But Tom, we got some other stuff to talk about. I know it was kind of heavy on your heart about the AT&T breach. You're an AT&T customer, so
I am.
And I have other family members, and we had some problems with Verizon a while back, and it just leaves question marks in your mind. And I think that let's see, is that slide 2, Layla? That we were, I think so. Nope, wrong one. Let me see where we got it. Nope, come on, we got it here. There we go.
No, that's the second one. That's the conspiracy theory there. There we go. Yeah. So last week, AT&T says data breach impacts nearly all its cellular customers. Now, is that an oxymoron, Mike? I mean, nearly all. I mean, I don't know if you either say all or not all, right? It's like,
well, I think that's lawyer speak for all, but we're not sure. There might have been one that got missed.
Yes, I do believe they covered CYA there, but this was very interesting before Friday night because they got all the data, and I'm pretty sure if they said nearly all, I think they're saying all the data. Now, I'm not a super whiz, but I was a AT&T customer when I was the vice president of Sunworld International's IT department, and I did think they had great service through the years. I actually saw and lived through the AT&T breakup, and but I do believe that a lot of the conglomerations have come back together in other companies and things like that. I mean, I may be wrong, but sometimes I'm okay with that stuff. But so let's just play with this. Let's say they did get breached.
Yeah.
What would somebody be looking for? They're looking for some stuff that people don't want out, right?
Well, I mean, not even necessarily that, Tom. So, I have a background in IT for a long time, and I'm
You
not
do.
a cybersecurity expert, but I work with a lot of cybersecurity experts.
You helped me.
And
I got hacked last week.
you did, um, and we got that resolved.
You did.
But some a lot of times, what they're looking for is sure, they can get social security numbers, they can get credit card numbers, they can get addresses, but a lot of times what they're looking for is just that one little piece of extra information that'll help them to go down that rabbit hole. So they're just collecting as much data as they possibly can. Like maybe it's just your phone number, maybe it's just your address, maybe it's just your name. But if they can correlate 2 or 3 pieces of data together and then hop to the next company that they're trying to breach, they can start piecing all these things together like it's a jigsaw. And eventually, what they're going to do is take over your identity, use it to open bank accounts, use it to open credit cards. There's been a lot of home loan fraud. There's a lot of things. And a lot of times you guys don't even know about this stuff. And not that this is a company that I necessarily endorse or that we have any sort of relationship with, but things like LifeLock, for example, can help you to stay on top of that, or even just as simple as going out and signing up for alerts on Experian or other sites. And there's some simple things you can do, which, if you guys show some interest, we can put together actually some training around that. It's a class to help you guys protect your identities and protect your information. But we've been doing this stuff in one of our companies, our IT company, for nearly 20 years. And it's not necessarily that they're going to get all the information in one fell swoop or one whack, and they're not even necessarily trying to. They are trying to get as much information as they can. But what they do is, even if they can get that one little bit of information, that one more piece of information, sometimes they're grabbing your passwords, and many of us, which is something that I strongly preach against, advise against. Many people use the same password, and many people use a simple password across all of their social media platforms, across all of their websites, emails, everything else. And most of them also don't have in place multi-factor authentication. But there's some simple tools that can be put in place, and again, we can help with that if you guys show interest and want some training around that. Then we can hold a class or whatever. But some simple things you can put in place to protect yourself and protect your identity. Because these big corporations, they're not immune, they're not invulnerable, and frankly, they're not doing a good enough job. And the way that the technology and AI and everything else is advancing, it's almost impossible for them to do a good enough job, because most of the time, I would say, these companies are in a reactive mode, not a proactive mode. And that's because they don't know necessarily what the next thing is that the cyber criminals are going to try to do, or the evolution of that security.
Mike, what is the security system that you use at 511 and at MLH Enterprises? What's that system? Blockwork?
So we use a variety of tools, which I'm not necessarily going to divulge on air, only because.
So Tommy, yeah. So now we're challenging them, Mike. Come on, right?
That's okay. What I can say is we work with a cyber security company that helps us with a lot of this stuff, and their name is Blockworks. But however, they don't work with individuals. They don't work with individual companies. They only work with IT service providers. So but I will say that they are world class. So Blockworks, I'm very much in support of, but they make a point, and I make a point, not to disclose what tools we're using, because that's just one more way that cyber criminals can try to come after you.
Yeah, Tommy just blew that one. So
no, that's all right.
So really, where I want to go is I want to just throw out there, because I don't think they're conspiracy theories anymore. I think they're things I think they're breadcrumbs. So let's bring up the second slide, Layla.
Well, you know what they say, Tom, about I'll tell you which one it is in just a second, Layla. Well, you know what they say about conspiracy theories, Tom, and we said this on our broadcast yesterday. The difference between the truth and a conspiracy theory: 6 months.
That's good stuff. I like that.
So yeah, if we can, that's the one. Layla, go ahead and bring it up.
So, Mike, one of the things that AT&T said that these people got was the text messages. even though people encrypt things, I mean, I think that's probably one of the things that if you're trying to have a conversation and keep things, downplayed, I mean, whatever it is, that's, your vice. I think sometimes, like you said, they connect names and data and things together. And sometimes they're just like out and out conversations, right? I mean, there's no other way. And I think there's a lot of people who really don't care anymore. I mean, we're seeing it, across the news things right now. I mean, we've haven't really had a chance just to do a show on some of the denials that are out there of things that are proven. They were conspiracy theories, like you said, 6 months to 12 months ago or 24 months ago. And now they're flat out facts and they're still denying them. So here we have AT&T. This came out this morning. AT&T paid a hacker $370,000. That seems like a lot of money to delete stolen phone records. Now, as Mike and you and I had this conversation off air. So did they know what they needed these people to delete, or did this person that was a hacker call them and say, "Hey, I know where your stuff's at"? I don't know.
No, it could have been either, Tom,
Yeah.
because they're able to tell a lot of times, especially a company as sophisticated as AT&T. They're gonna know what was breached, when it was breached, how it was breached, have a good idea of who did the breaching, and then be able to tell what data they have. What they can't do is be able the hacker said that they deleted the data, but what they can't do is know, well, did they make a copy before they deleted it? And I'm going to venture to say that many times they do, and very likely they did, but I don't know why. I mean, for a company like AT&T, $370,000 is frankly a drop in the bucket. It's a lot of money for you and I, and probably if you're watching this, probably a lot of money for you. However, AT&T, hey, if there's a chance that we might be able to get them to do, but it also shows you their level of desperation, because this is a big deal. If AT&T is willing to fork out dough, because the FBI and the DOJ strictly advise against paying ransoms. There's several reasons for this. The main one being because it incentivizes attackers, but you've also seen a shift in the attacks that are coming. Used to be a few years ago that they were going after ransomware. Ransomware was a big deal.
That was the word I was looking for.
Now it's not as big of a deal. I mean, it's still a big deal, but it's not the primary method that the attackers are using. They're using other things that are frankly more successful for them, or deliver more reward. And again, this isn't necessarily time for Mike to digress into all the ins and outs of cybersecurity and IT and all of those things. But what I will say is it's very interesting, especially if you spend time around IT crowds, and I've spent a lot of time around IT crowds. You will find that based on where their level of knowledge or level of sophistication, there's kind of a spectrum. The beginners are over here, and then the very entrenched people are over here. And there's a straight line of how much you get, how paranoid you are about these things. And the more knowledge you have, the more paranoid you are, because you know the risks.
Well, Mike, when I was in IT and I was responsible for multi-million-dollar assets, proprietary products, our method was that you couldn't log in anywhere. We were central processing. A lot of people don't remember that word. We were central processing, where we only allowed people to come in that were directly connected in our building. And so that was a great way to ensure. Now, all you had to do is make sure everybody turned the computer off at night. Then we came out with the internet. I remember when it first came out, my first connection to Coachella was 9600 baud. That is baud. That's not T1. And so lights would blink as they would go off and on, and the data would be transmitted, and then it would be checked on the other end. Then everybody said, well, couldn't we do this from home? Of course, the answer is yes. Can't we make our lives easier? So then you went outside the home to make sure, and that's when the data integrity became really essential. Now, our data integrity was the prices of our products, especially in the fresh fruits and industry. First of the season and into the season are where the money's made, not in the middle of the season. So if you have the first crops that come off that are market standard, you'll make more money. And if you have the last crop, you'll make more money because people still want them. But in the middle, the price starts here, goes up, and then it sinks, and then goes back up towards the end. So that was our data security. People wanted to know, well, what is Sunworld charging for their citrus? What is Sunworld charging for their seedless watermelons? That was it. That wasn't like who you talking to at night and, what is your bank password or code. So it was a little different thing back then, Mike.
Yeah.
The dinosaurs walked the earth.
The world's evolved, but I remember those days, and I remember I've been in technology for most of my life. At least I got my first computer when I was in junior high. And
Commodore.
What's that?
Was that a Commodore?
No, it was a Compaq Presario. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little farther down the line. The first computer that went outside of the corporate world was an IBM 5110. It was using a basic language, and it was the first desktop. They hated that word, but I hated that word too. Desktop computer, and IBM produced it. Then, I don't want to go down that rat hole either.
Right? It's easy for us to start breaking down into technology.
You and I could nerd out, and we're probably losing our audience. But no, Mike. I do think something's bigger behind this AT&T breach. I think it was like, oops, okay, we took care of it. We paid somebody to delete it. No, forget about it. Don't worry about this. News cycle, go on to talk about something else.
Yeah, well, we know what the big news cycle is right now, and that's probably not going to change for a while. But we have Tom. Is it today the RNC convention?
It is today, and Trump's supposed to speak.
And we're going to find out who our next vice president is going to be.
Yeah. Well, Mike, isn't it funny what 3 days make? There was some trouble at the White House last week when I kind of put some pictures together, and I think it's still kind of an appropriate thing that the White House didn't know how to answer questions about Biden's health, and they were getting caught in a web, and Joe's faithful press secretary was trying to just camouflage some of his health problems, but with that came attacks from the legacy media. They started to push back. They did, and it wasn't even kind of a kind way. They were just being very direct in these press conferences. So what's her name? We don't have the screen up, but Jean, I don't want to get it wrong.
Yeah, give me a second. Let me bring that up, because you jump tracks on me here.
Yeah, I did. I was looking at our timing, and I was like,
okay, Layla, go ahead and bring that up.
Yeah, the reporters were feeling misled by the White House over Biden health. You kidding? You just figured that out. But she was basically trying to, but she was getting hit from the legacy media. It was just coming right and left. It's like, I mean, I used to box, not very well, but when I'd get in the ring and you get somebody that catches you with the jab, and then they catch you with the cross, and they catch you with the jab. About two of those, you're going backwards to cover up. And I think she was trying to cover up, because it wasn't just Peter Doocy that was coming after her. It was everybody.
Yeah. Well, they've been lying about all of this for a very, very long time. But I think going back to the RNC, we're talking about Donald Trump and everything that happened this weekend. But Donald Trump decided he was going to delay the RNC and everything else, which would make total sense. But he's a man. He's a strong, tough man, and he's a fighter, right? Oh. So he put this out, and I don't have the timestamp on this, but I know it was over the weekend, most likely yesterday. But he says, based on yesterday's terrible events, I was going to delay my trip to Wisconsin and the Republican National Convention by 2 days, but have just decided that I cannot allow a shooter or potential assassin to force change to scheduling or anything else. Therefore, I will be leaving for Milwaukee as scheduled at 3:30 p.m. today.
It's so funny. He tells people he's like I'm leaving at 3:30 today. Thank you.
Yeah.
And stamped Donald Trump.
DJT. Yeah. But Go ahead.
You know, Mike, I there again, I said it this week, and I used some language that's my daughter said wasn't very becoming of a pastor, but I said, hey, I've kind of laid down that title, and I just said the man has a set of steel balls.
Yeah.
This shows it again. He's like, I am not going to let this happen and deny the American people a choice to hear truth over fiction.
So we'll go ahead.
I was telling my son-in-law, and we had a little bit of a disagreement over this. I said, man, if I was him, I'd get a shorter haircut on the side, and I'd wear that. I'd get some gnarly stitches, and just because honestly, that's one tough man right there, Mike.
Right. Well, we'll be finding out tonight who the nominee is for vice president, and but one thing I wanted to mention too was I know that Turning Point's going to be there, and they're going to have a big party, and they're going to be doing a lot of things around that, but we've been pushing this conference that they're going to be doing over in Florida all last week. We're going to continue to do so because we're big believers in what they're doing, big believers in Turning Point, and we have a opportunity to do something for you guys if you're watching this, and I'm gonna roll this video, Layla, if you can just bring it up, and I'll go ahead and click it off.
Every major question you might be wrestling with, there is an answer in the Word of God.
Amen.
Abraham was tested. Many of you are going through a test right now. I guarantee it. What did Abraham say when his life was hard and he was tested? Here I am. What's different about Christianity is that it's a gift for all of humanity to receive, regardless of everything that we have done. Grace is not earned. It is given by a God who loves you and wants to spend eternity with you. It is the most important decision you can make in your life. And your life will be transformed. You will be born again. Comfort and Christianity sometimes come to a head. In fact, we are called to get uncomfortable as believers and Christians. If you are comfortable, you're not doing Christianity right. We believe in a strong church. And if we're serious about saving this country, we need to get back to the source of where that inheritance came from, the Word of God, and our true citizenship, which is in heaven. And it starts with all of you.
I love that, Mike. And I'm just going to say it. If you attended a church yesterday, that didn't use Donald J. Trump's name and somehow didn't incline people to pray for the man, pray for the victims' families, even the shooter, I'll go that far to say, because, God have mercy on his soul. So if you go to a church that wouldn't say that or even discuss it, I'm not sure it's the right church. Is that too hard to say, Mike?
No, I agree. I was discussing this with, and obviously because of the things that we do and the things that we're involved in, my kids are very, very astute in politics as well as very astute in Christianity. And they ask a lot of tough questions, frankly. Kids are having to face things that they've never faced before. And as parents, a lot of times we're unprepared. I think that, real quick to bring Johnny back in that picture, I think that's something that we're trying to do for all of you guys, is make sure that you're prepared as parents to have some of those tough conversations. But the Believer Summit coming up July 26th or 28th, 511 is going to be there. We're going to have a booth. We're going to be doing some live streaming, some podcasting. We're going to be talking to a lot of people. A lot of the people you've seen on screen just now in that promo video are good friends of ours. They'll be coming to you very soon over our live stream. But this is an opportunity for you to get around other believers, like-minded believers who are aware of what's going on in the world, but also sincerely care about the direction our country's heading. And if you guys are not already planning on attending, definitely check it out. I think you should.
And we can help you out too.
Yeah, we'll be dropping a link in the comments. There we go. Code 51125 for 25% off. you can go to tpusafaithevents.com/home. That's in the comments on Facebook, and we'll make sure that gets out on YouTube and Instagram as well. And we also are doing a drawing for to give away a VIP pass, which we always go VIP on these things for many reasons. One being that we're business owners, so you always want to be where the more successful business owners are. But besides that, you're going to have an opportunity to rub shoulders and have conversations with most of the speakers, and just get that elevated experience. It's normally a $300 value, but we're giving away tickets to a select group. And if you want to be entered in a chance for that drawing, it's just enter hashtag 511 Media in the comments below. Whatever platform you're on, we'll make sure that we take that into consideration, and you're entered for that drawing. So, yeah, you guys don't want to miss it. That's July 26th through 28th, and it's in West Palm Beach, Florida.
And they do have to pay for their travel and their hotel stay. But if you go and you get this VIP pass, man, you will not regret it. You'll get to be able to be there, be around it, the atmosphere, like-minded people that are fighting for the freedoms that 511 stands for, faith, family, and freedom in Jesus Christ. But that applies other areas of your life. So, Mike, I really enjoy, as we saw on that clip, and I do think, Mike, you brought, when I did that clip last week, I didn't give it the justice that you did, because you brought out Charlie and Turning Point's face side. I just grabbed the clip in the middle, so I really appreciate what Mike did when he grabbed this clip, and it shows the heart of Turning Point. They want to bring this country back to a godly center. And I'm not talking about everybody has to believe in Jesus Christ. That is something that we believe in, and we believe in our faith system. We believe it is the process. It is the way. But if you're not, I hope you're able to let your faith system work out for you in some manner. But you're going to be able to go here and see Christianity at play and at work. And I'm really excited to say that we've got a podcast that we're starting August 20th, Mike, with Pierre Wilson, who will be one of the speakers at the Believers Summit. And we've got a commitment on a first guest. And I think the second guest is jumping in too. So we're just trying to bring you some guests that are going to be there and speaking and being around people.
Yeah, and if you guys saw yesterday's, last night's, depending on what time zone you're in, live stream, live cast, it's going to be every bit as good as that. The speakers, which we're going to keep as a surprise for now, but the guests that are going to be on that Pierre Wilson Unchained show. Stay tuned. Subscribe to 511 Podcasts on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast. We're going to be there. You can also go out to our Instagram, and you can see all the links there. Pierre Wilson Unchained is going to be launching August 20th. Every speaker we're going to have in his lineup is going to be every bit as good, if not equal to the guests we had yesterday. So yeah, go check that out.
They'll come back pumped up, and they'll be looking for a way to engage if you go to this conference.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And that's why we wouldn't miss it for the world. But we're gonna be streaming from there. So if you are there, stop by and say hi to me, Mike Harvey, to Renata De Silva. We're going to be there with some of our family as well. But guys in control room, if you can just mark down that we want to push out that video. Layla, Ludavia, Renata, we want to push out the video I just rolled with all the info for the codes and everything else onto all the social platforms, so everybody can grab onto that. Then we'll do that, so you guys can jump in on that.
So we're running out of time, but Mike, can we bump tomorrow's show? Tell them we got a live guest tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
Blake Bernard, who is part of our 511 team. He has a show called Train to Win, which we haven't been able to get up, just technical things, but we're going to restart it this Friday at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. And Blake's going to be in studio with Mike tomorrow. And they're going to talk about some things because the Olympics are coming up, Mike. We got to start talking about the Olympics.
Oh wow. Okay.
Did
Okay.
you, Mike? Did you know they get paid for gold medals? Countries pay them to win gold medals.
I'm not surprised.
Mike,
Does USA
this was a whole new rabbit hole I ran down. I was like, what? I would like to get Blake in because Blake is a world-class athlete and trainer of people that are world-class athletes. So
yeah,
I like,
Michael trains with him.
yeah, your son's going to be a world-class athlete, Mike. You can. And
Well, that kid won't stop working out.
I love that, Mike. And, well, he's got your work ethic, Mike. So that's
Yeah.
that's a good thing. So Blake will be with us tomorrow, and we'll have some stories that will not just be based on that, but we love to bring in the 511 talent and let you hear from them themselves.
Yeah. So you guys are out there. Check out our show tonight with John Rizzo.
Yes.
Be at 5:30. And we're gonna talk all things parenting. Layla, if you can bring that slide up again. I'm not sure which one it is right now. But if you can bring that up for people to see, we're gonna be in there tonight at 5:30, talking parents, giving all of you guys as parents. Sorry, my throat's a little dry today. Giving you guys as parents some skills, giving you some hacks, if you will, to deal with. And if you guys have ADHD kids like I do, and I want to say something about that real quick. ADHD. A lot of people think it's a handicap. It doesn't have to be. A lot of people try to use that handicap as a crutch. It doesn't have to be. It for me, I've turned that to be a superpower for me, because there's a lot of advantages you can get by having this. However, you need to learn how to manage it, right? Especially in your kids, because if a chaotic household is not fun for anybody, especially wives. So, guys, tune in tonight, and we'll see you all there. Tom, anything you want to add before we close out?
No, great seeing you, Michael.
Yeah.
And we'll come back and have a great show tomorrow. And be safe out there.
Thank you all for watching. Have a great day.